Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity and creator of Bogash Life and Balance. And today we're going to talk about coffee. Might throw in a little bit about tea as well, but coffee, there's some people that actually think that coffee is toxic and bad for you. Unfortunately, that flies in the face of, I don't want to say every single journal article I've ever read on coffee, but certainly the bulk of the research suggests that coffee, when done right, can actually be very good for you. Probably top of the list is its anti-diabetic properties, but it's also a pretty powerful antioxidant. The polyphenols, those plant-based compounds that you find in coffee and tea and berries, are very good for protecting against fill in the blank. So in this particular study, looking at all-cause mortality or the risk of dying from people who drink coffee. What was interesting is that this was a U-shaped association. So if you picture a graph, there's a U. So at the front end, where people are not drinking very much coffee, there's not much of a protection. At the far end, where people are drinking a lot, the protection is less. So there's a sweet spot in there. I think a lot of that has to do with how we drink coffee in society today, and the fact that coffee is usually very high in toxic residues, pesticides. So drinking organic coffee would be very important, which you're not going to get at most large chain stores. So what was interesting about this study is they looked at sweetened versus unsweetened versus artificially sweetened. And that's a big thing. It's not coffee that may be bad for us. It may be all the crap that we put in there, the creamers, the sugars, all of that. And then at the far end of the spectrum, we have your frappuccinos, your cappuccinos that have like 600-700 calories in them with the whipped cream, and they're large enough now where they should come with their own set of wheels, so you can wheel it out. But in some people, like, that's almost half their caloric intake for the day, and it's a concern. And certainly, we're not talking about those types of drinks actually having a health benefit. This is coffee. Coffee, likely espresso, you're probably going to find the same type of benefits. It's even a little bit more potent. But it was a study out of the UK looking at almost 172,000 people, so very big study. Average age, 55.6, so just a little bit older than me. And they followed them for 7 years looking at all-cause mortality, so the risk of dying from anything. Now, that usually is heart disease and cancer. So you can kind of, it fills in the bulk, but there's some other things that play a role in there as well. And so what they found that the sweet spot was about 3.5 cups a day of coffee. And it lowered all-cause mortality in the 7-year term by 29%. Like, that's like not changing anything. Like, it's a pretty substantial reduction in your risk of dying of, again, heart disease or cancer. When they looked at sugar sweetened coffee, there wasn't that much of a difference. However, that opposite end of the U, where people drinking 4.5 cups or more, it actually started increasing the risk of all-cause mortality, and that's probably because of the sugars. There's only so much that you can balance out from the health benefits of the coffee. So, and that was about if I didn't say a 5% increase in all-cause mortality. So basically, coffee can and is continually shown to be very good for you, but we want to, first of all, do organic when possible and put as little stuff in there as possible. So there's any number of healthier creamers that are available. Coconut oil, you can make MCT oil, more like a bulletproof type coffee. But don't be afraid of coffee thinking that it's bad for us. This is just yet another study that shows that coffee and tea, which I'm an even bigger fan of, have some pretty substantial health benefits. As always, I'll post a link to this particular study in the description. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.